This is a channel message about a spiritual gift that you have coming online, so you're going to want to save this video so you can come back in the future, and I'm going to be reading from my notes so I stay on track. When I went into your energy field, you were looking out over a pond, and it had a lot of dragonflies that were hovering above it, and dragonflies are often seen as messengers from spirit. Water often represents oracleization, being able to have foresight or greater insight, and that being your modality of clairvoyance or clairsentience, clairempathy, claircognizance is an amplifier for your psychic abilities. And you are waving your hand over the water and said, "What do I see?" And it was kind of giving the same of Snow White, where the mirror is on the wall and the message, "Mirror, mirror on the wall," seeking answers, if you will. And so you and I were then standing in the sand dunes, and then we realized that we were in ancient Egypt, and we were both looking at a pyramid. And I looked at you and asked, "What are we doing here?" And you said, "Looking for ancient ruins." So if you're not familiar with ruins or symbolism that is representative of language, so this might look like petroglyphs or hieroglyphs. There's a lot of different types throughout cultures and society. And I said, "Well, why are you looking at those?" And you said, "To revive old language." I said, "Oh, kind of like cartography." Cartography is a person who or a cartographer is a person who makes and draws maps and charts. And one of the ways that they can do this is acquiring data using satellite imagery and aerial photographs. So think of like drones flying over different places. So creating maps. However, your specific gift is creating language maps, also known as linguistic cartography. I asked, "What's got you interested in that?" And you said, "I want to be able to show the relationship between languages." So every word holds a certain frequency. For example, peace, calm, serenity, and relaxation are all kind of in the same wheelhouse, but you use them differently because they have different undertones underneath them. So what you're able to do with this gift of cartography is look at old languages and pull the frequencies from words that are not being used anymore and infuse them into your own language, or what we would call vernacular, your language bank. And then that's also mixed with the gift of astral projection because you and I were actually standing in ancient Egypt about to go walk up to this pyramid. A couple of different things you can do to develop this gift is look at pictures of ancient sites, sacred sites, because it's going to put an imprint in your subconscious and your psyche for when you do get to the level of being able to astral project there yourself. It's going to re-jog the spiritual gift. Looking at pictures of ancient texts, like ancient language, even if you don't understand it with your conscious mind, it's more about picking up the energetic imprints from them. Higher Self said doing guided meditations where somebody's taking you on a journey to Egypt, the Aztecs, Mayans, Celtic, Slavic, or Nordic areas, or anyone that draw interest for you. Actually astral projecting to these places and spaces in the quantum field. Looking for ruins, parchments of papers, scrolls, or books. So you might want to set the intention that you go to a library. Now obviously the library that we know is called different things in the way back. And so, but having that conceptual awareness of I'm going to a place that is holding ruins, paper, scrolls, or books. And how you are in turn utilizing this gift is when you are picking up the imprints of these old languages, they are infusing into similar words that you are either writing or speaking, so that way they have a greater impact when you are sharing them with other people. There have been many languages throughout time and history, different cultures, that a singular word has so much depth to it. It's more of a whole entire story and a narrative. So that's what you're learning to do now, more in your native tongue. And so this gift is a remembrance of how to make it that impactful, but in the language that you're speaking now. It's kind of like if you have ever read a book, and you can read so many books and them be fantastic, but then you read some and you're like, oh, this is actually a healing vessel. This is an activation vessel. That is what you're learning how to do with your spoken word or your written word. And if you're looking to expand more in your records and your internal structural systems, I have resources for those in my bio, and I would love to hear in the comments if this message resonated with you, and I'm wishing you an absolutely magical day.